The day after I caught Zhang Yi-chen cheating, he didn't poor bag. He just calmly handed me divorce papers as straightforward as if he were closing a business deal. He said, "Lian Ling, I've fallen in love with her. I can't bear to let her be called the other woman." He asked why I was crying, said not to worry even divorced. I wouldn't lose a penny. 1 second before he pulled out those papers, I had wanted to tell him, Yi-chen, I have terminal cancer. The doctor says I don't have much time. Stay with me. But I didn't say it. I signed. What was the point of dragging it out for another month or two? Just to make him pity me? When he saw me sign, he was relieved but also faintly dissatisfied. He asked if I had never really let go of that other man and couldn't wait to go back to him. He put the agreement in his bag and said she liked the apartment, so I needed to move out as soon as possible, even our wedding home. Fine. I was dying anyway. He could do whatever he wanted. Zhang Yi-chen got what he wanted and breezed out the door like the wind. He didn't know that for years to come, he would regret that day rising and sinking, never finding peace. The next morning, he took me to the Civil Affairs Bureau. He couldn't wait another second. Whoever she was, she must have promised him something. His eyebrows were flying with joy. He'd never been this happy, not even when I said yes to his proposal. While waiting in line, he complained that the divorce schooling off period should be abolished. As soon as we walked out, he made a phone call. He said it was done, told her not to be sad, that she could start choosing her wedding dress. I watched him drive away and touched my belly. It wasn't that I didn't love this child. I just didn't have time. The same day I found out I was a mother, I was diagnosed with terminal cancer. Our father didn't even know she existed before. He couldn't wait to leave her mother. My bones ached. I was dizzy. A black luxury car stopped beside me. The window rolled down, revealing Zhang Yi-en's cold, indifferent face, my first love. My former fiancé, Zhang Yi-chen's older brother. Before our wedding, he had fallen in love with another woman. He broke off the engagement, no matter how much I begged. Later, Zhang Yi-chen came back from abroad, and his younger brother married me. Zhang Yi-en told me to get in the car. I stopped struggling and let him put me in. I looked out the window at the spring blossoms, beautiful as clouds. I didn't want to blink. I would never see another spring. I had just over a month left. He said he was surprised I signed so easily. He thought I would cry and refuse to let go like before. I curled my fingers and spoke quietly. I know begging is useless. The people who are going to leave always leave. I had begged Zhang Yi-en. I had begged him not to leave me. My mother died young, of the same disease. My father and I were everything to each other. He was the driver for the Zhang family patriarch. The day he died was my birthday. Before leaving, he hugged me and said, "Wait for Daddy to come home. We'll cut the cake together." I waited until the next morning, when I saw his bloody body. Someone tried to kidnap the old master, and my father took more than 10 knife wounds for his employer. After that, the Zhang family took me in. To thank my father, the old master arranged an engagement between me and Zhang Yi-en. Zhang Yi-en and I didn't fall in love just because of the engagement. From the day I became a ward of the Zhang family, they put me in the same school as him. On my first day, I beat up an older girl. She stood at my classroom door, announced that my mother was dead and my father was just the Zhang's driver, that I only got into this school because of his dying favor. Insulting me was one thing, but accusing my father was another. I pinned her under a desk and covered her head with my backpack. Zhang Yi-en came. When he learned what happened, he looked down at her and said, "She deserved it. Lian Ling is a Zhang. Don't any of you dare touch her." That day, Zhang Yi-en was like my God. Through all my school years, he came and went with me. He taught me what I didn't understand, indulged my picky eating, even picked out my clothes. Those were the happiest years of my life. On my 18th birthday, he took me to my parents' grave and lit 18 candles. He said, "Ling Ling, from now on, I'll take care of you. I was so happy. But then what I thought was love was erased by his casual words. I made a mistake. He graduated and joined the John Corporation. I was finishing my thesis when I graduated and ran to his office, excited to pick out wedding dresses together. He was silent for a long time. Then he said he was sorry, but he couldn't marry me. He had thought he loved me, but when he met the right person, he realized that what he felt for me was just habit, just a sense of duty from the engagement arranged when we were children. I begged the old master for help. He tried to force Zhang Yian to leave his new love, but Zhang Yian wouldn't budge. When he walked past me, he didn't even glance my way. He said he hadn't expected me to be so despicable. The last time I saw Zhang Yian 5 years ago was at the Zhang Corporation building. Su Weining was holding his arm. When he looked up and saw me, the warmth vanished from his eyes, and his brow furrowed, so this was how much I annoyed him. He had Su Weining behind him, said he didn't want me to hurt her, didn't want her to be called a homewrecker, so I let it end. I stumbled out of the building, and Su Weining followed. She laughed, smug. You had him for a few years, so what? He sent me abroad, but in the end, what's mine is mine. It was her, the little girl I'd beaten up all those years ago, the only daughter of the Su family. It had never occurred to me that the banquet I didn't attend would be the place where Zhang Yian fell in love with her. Tong Yi Chen announced our breakup on social media. Someone commented that my name was unlucky, a lifetime of drifting, although not meant to last with either brother. I silently liked the comment. He deleted it soon after. I hadn't cleaned the apartment in a long time. The bathroom mirror showed a face streaked with tears. This child had come at the wrong time. I found the red candles we'd saved from our wedding. I pressed my palms together but made no wish. This was my last birthday on earth. My only company was the child I was about to give up. 3 days later, as I lay on the hospital bed, Zhang Yichen called. He impatiently told me to move my things out, said if I didn't come today, he'd throw everything away. The nurse looked at me with pity. He used to bring me to this hospital all the time. The nurses used to laugh at how nervous he got. Even a simple blood draw made his face pale. Now, hearts change so easily. Blood ran down my thigh. This little life and I were not meant to be. I laughed softly. Good child, soon Mama will be with you. As I was discharged, my doctor told me about a new imported drug. It wouldn't save me, but it might give me an extra month with less pain. I was afraid of pain, afraid of death, and I wasn't above taking help. Zhang Yichen had never shorted me on money. I ordered a supply. That afternoon, I went back to our old home. It was evening by the time I got there. The door was locked, but my things were scattered in the hallway: clothes, shoes, the embroidered ball he'd given me, the little bamboo cage he'd made with his own hands. All the things I'd treasured were just thrown out in the corridor. He couldn't wait a single moment longer. I leaned against the wall, my post-operation wound stabbing with pain. I searched my jewelry box and realized something was missing. My mother's heirloom, a pair of silver dragon phoenix earrings. I knocked for a long time. Finally, the door opened. Zhang Yichen looked uncomfortable. He said she was inside, so it wasn't convenient for me to enter. I said I just wanted my earrings. He pointed at the jewelry box in the hallway and said all my things were there. I told him these were my mother's last gift to me, the ones I'd shown him on our wedding night. His face changed, but before he could speak, a woman's voice interrupted. Su Weining came out, drying her hair, wearing an expensive silk nightgown. I couldn't believe my eyes. A woman from that night, it was her. Weren't you married to Zhang Yian? She laughed. They divorced on the very day I caught them. Zhang Yichen said flatly. She divorced my brother. The same day you found out. My body swayed. He instinctively reached out to steady me, then saw Su Weining's expression and pulled his hand back. I barely held myself up against the wall. Su Weining tucked her hair behind her ears, showing off the silver earrings. She said she didn't care for any of the things Yi Chen had given her, but these were almost worthy of her. Wouldn't I be so petty as to mind? Yi Chen said since W. Anning liked them, to let it go HED by me better ones. I said they were my mother's. He fell silent. Su Waning took them off in a huff and threw them on the ground. The silver pin snapped. I lunged forward and slapped her hard. In the next instant, Yi Chen slapped me. Blood ran from the corner of my mouth. He didn't even look at me. He said coldly that there were things he hadn't planned to tell me, but I shouldn't have hit W. Anning. Olian Ling, you probably don't know this, but the reason I chased you, the reason I married you, it was all because I wanted W. Anning to be happy. I've loved her for a very long time. You were clinging to my brother, and you even got the old master involved. Later, even after you said you'd let go. You never really left the Zhang family. W. Anning was afraid you'd go back to him. That's why I came home. I sank to the floor. I thought he had stopped loving me, had changed. But it turned out that from the very beginning I had been alone in this. He made me apologize. I held my stomach and looked at him, the man I had truly loved. Just days ago, I'd been happy to be carrying his child. Even when he asked for a divorce, I told myself that at least we had loved each other, that it was better not to burden him. I had never realized he was scum. You make me sick, I said. He said if I didn't apologize, I wouldn't get a penny. Did I forget the prenuptial agreement? The biggest mistake of my life was believing Zhang Yi Chen's lies. Believing him when he said he loved me. When he said he would give me a home. I pulled away and said he could do whatever he wanted. I would rather never have met him at all. I opened the door with all my strength. Zhang Yan was standing there. I didn't look at him. He gently tugged my sleeve. I turned my head, tears welling in my eyes. You're too cruel. Stay away from me. I never want to see anyone from the Zhang family again. I took a taxi home and collapsed on the bed. Who would have thought that my first meeting with Zhang Yichen had been carefully orchestrated? He had just returned from abroad. I met him in an elevator. With a big dog on a chain that scared me half to death. Later, he kept coming around. Took me on a spring outing. When an earthquake hit, he shielded me with his body, broke his leg, and still told me jokes. When we were rescued, he pulled a ring from his pocket and said it was my birthday gift. I thought, I'll love again. But he had never loved me at all. A few days later, he called. He was quiet for a long time, then said I didn't have to apologize if I didn't want to, but I hadn't looked well that day. Was I eating? He said. You can't live without me, can you? It's just a divorce. Why aren't you eating? I told him not to bother me. He got angry and said he'd been about to unfreeze my bank cards. But since I was so ungrateful, I could wait until we officially divorced. I didn't care anymore. Lucky him, his ex-wife would die without an heir. The money would go to no one. On the day we went to finalize the divorce, I woke up early. I put on my favorite dress and hired a makeup artist to make me look beautiful. I hadn't expected Zhang Yichen to pick me up. Dong Yan was sitting in the back seat. They brought his brother to make sure I didn't change my mind. I sat in the front passenger seat. Su Waning had taken my husband, so sitting in her seat was a small revenge. Pathetic, I know. I was in a good mood that day. Smiling. The other couples getting divorced, all miserable and shouting, thought I was there to get married. At the final signature, Zhang Yichen suddenly grabbed my hand. I pulled free and signed. The divorce certificate was read. Just like a marriage certificate. I tore up our marriage certificate and threw it in the trash. He said I couldn't wait to be rid of him. I looked at him quietly and said, Zhang Yichen, thank you for saving my life. Goodbye. He said nothing, slammed the door, and drove off. Zhang Yian was standing behind me. He grabbed my wrist and asked if I still loved Yichen. If not, why couldn't I give him another chance? I said he'd done so well marrying someone he didn't love and then divorcing her. just to satisfy his brother's wish. But he was right about one thing: I don't miss people who don't love me. Then blood sprayed from my mouth, and everything went dark. I woke up in the hospital. Jung Yeon was sitting by the bed, his eyes red. When did I find out? He asked. Why didn't I tell him? The day I caught Yi Chenj eating, I said. He held my hand. I tried to pull away but couldn't. Fine, I thought. Might as well take advantage of a handsome man before I die. Jong Yeon was crying. I'd never seen him cry. Ling Ling, marry me. I mean it. I regretted it long ago. I was waiting for you and Yi Chen to divorce so I could tell you. I was wrong. I love you. He stared into my eyes. I slowly pulled my hand back and tucked it under the blanket. One tear slid from the corner of my eye into my hair. Jong Yeon, if you had said this 5 years ago, I would have gone crazy with happiness. I waited so long. I never expected to wait until you left me. Why do you have to say it only after I've stopped loving you?